Hello, everybody. This is Annie, and I am back again for another series of my Vaslag Chat with Annie. And today I have a special guest all the way from Canada. And I'm just going to bring him over here. And let me bring my business partner over here, all the way from Canada. Hi, Kit. Hello. How are you
Hey,
doing? How are you
I'm doing
doing?
fine.
All
I'm
right.
I'm
Thank you.
fine.
Good. Thank you for coming to my show today, and I'm really excited to share your story, or like some kind like discussion or something. It's not really an interview, but whoever's watching, thank you for watching. Please put your name and where you're coming from, so that we can see how global we are, and we can say hello to you all. And like I said, I am Annie. I am coming all the way from South Carolina, USA. I am a nurse, a wife, and of course, I have a 3 4 babies that I love so much. And now I am a digital business owner. So I just want to ask uh, my business partner all the way from Canada, Kit, to introduce who is Kit, to introduce himself.
So I'm Keith Hall. I'm from Alberta, Canada. I was born and raised here. In at Let's see, back in 2000, I started working for a company. Well, actually, it was 1999. I started working for a company, and then the reason why I went to work for them is they had work overseas. I ended up in Cuba, and I worked in the oil and gas industry, and it was only supposed to be for a short time to help out in Cuba, but it ended up turning into over 20 years that I was spent there living and working. Uh, I ended up meeting a Cuban lady. We got married. We've got 2 kids. Both of my sons were born in Havana, and we continued to live and work in Cuba. And my wife, she never wanted to leave Cuba, but it became apparent in the late, when was it? About 2018, we decided that we needed to move to Canada for our sons. And it was one of those things. It was a life thing. So we immigrated to Canada, but we never thought the process was going to take so long. We eventually made it to Canada in the fall of 2021. And when we arrived here, I didn't think that I was going to actually have a job anymore with the company that I was working with. But we got here, we talked with the company, and we come to a decision that I would continue to work for them and return to Cuba as needed, as they needed a hand. So I was consulting for them, and I worked for them up until almost a year ago exactly now, 2023, where their client stopped payments to them, and they ended up letting me go, which I fully expected to do. They didn't have any income coming in, so they said, we don't need your services anymore, and said bye to me, which was fine. Back in 2020, I had bought into this digital business, and because of what we were going through and where we were at in Cuba, I just couldn't get the business started. So last summer, I decided that I wanted to take a look at this digital business again for a few reasons. One, I didn't want to go back to the oil and gas industry, or at least I didn't think that I wanted to. I know what that business is all about, the amount of time and work that it is. I was spending, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, weeks on end, working all the time. And not that it was a bad business. I'll tell you what, anybody that asked me, that was so much fun. I had the best time of my life. I wouldn't change what I did for anything in the world. It's not that. It's just that I view life differently now, and I wanted to not be working so much. I wanted to not have to travel to go to work. I didn't want to be staying in hotel rooms. I didn't want to be living somewhere else where my family was. And so I decided to take another look at this digital business, and so I did. And at the start of it, I took it slow. It became apparent that I had a problem with one of my social media platforms, and I had to fix that. And that took me some time. And I also needed to take some time for myself, because I was just not happy with what I was doing or where I was going. I really wasn't happy actually working anymore. So I took some time and I started looking at this business and working at it, going through some training, and spent some time over the days and months. And as days went by, I spent a little more time and a little more time in the training. And finally, I've got my business up and running, and I'm successful. I'm having people showing interest in what I'm doing. I've got some buyers coming on board with me, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster because this online digital world is all new to me. I mean, coming from the oil and gas, it's not even, there's not a comparison to be had. What I do understand about this online business is I understand how business works because I was start of several startups in the oil and gas industry. So I understand the business, but I didn't understand the process of this. And there's so much to learn. I'm learning every day. I mean, it's a lot, but I'll tell you what, as I was telling Annie before we came on here, I'm loving it. This is great. I mean, who wouldn't want to get out of bed and have a shower and go to their little office and not have to drive to work or spend time out of your house doing whatever. And right now, for me, this is what I'm loving. I'm really loving just being at home in my house doing this. And at some point in time, I don't know, maybe I'll start traveling for fun and I can literally do my business wherever I want. I don't know that's what I'm doing, but it's definitely an option, Annie, and I'm really loving this. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kit. Yes, I really, the thing about this business is you can actually do it anywhere, right? Anywhere in time. That's why, like I said, I told you I am a nurse and I have two jobs. So to be able to have a business you can do alongside with your job is a plus, because it's hard to have
Yes.
job and then another business. It's hard to juggle those, but this business really fits into your schedule so that you can actually do this alongside with your job, whether you can do it as a part-time or full-time. It's up to you, right? And that's the beauty about this business. And of course, like you are, I'm not good in social media. All I know before is selfie. But now I'm learning it. I am learning all kinds of stuff in social media. All this. I'm not good at it. I'm still in the learning process about how to do all these, all this technology, how to put it into our videos, how to
Yeah.
post it. I am not that good. I am just learning it, and hopefully, I can put up there and whatever I think I learn. So, but we
Yeah.
have training that we can follow anyway, and that training is really provided us as like um, the first step to how to actually do this business leveraging social media. And that's one thing about our business is we have this training that is already been in place for us step by step, and we can follow that easily. And of course, we still have to search for another resources for our training just to improve it, because technology is always coming up with new things and you have to be always on top of it. Otherwise, you'll be like left behind, right? And for us, we're not getting any younger, and it's like all this
No.
technology, it's like, oh my God, this is for like new generation, and we're learning in our age. We're learning. It's just like, okay, what are we gonna do here and there? you know Thank you, kid, for that information. And
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
we're getting to my second question. Are you
that's
skeptical when you see this business? Did you, when you first saw this business, are you skeptical?
Well, I'll tell you what, Annie. I never saw an ad for this business when I joined it. So what happened to me was I saw, or I didn't see. I know a couple that were in the business before I actually started it, and so I was following them on social media, and I noticed that some of the things that they were doing was different than what they were normally doing. And so when I came back to Canada for some days off from Cuba, I ended up talking to them about it. And they didn't tell me everything about it, but they told me that they were doing this business. And honestly, it was such a long time ago. If I told you what they said then, I don't remember. But whatever they said intrigued me. I went back to Cuba to go to work, and I kept thinking about it. And I actually called them from Cuba back to Canada and talked to them. And I think what happened there was they directed me to the webinar,
Mhm.
And maybe I paid the 149. I don't remember the exact steps of what I did. And then I ended up in a coaching call and I talked to them again. And it was because of what they said to me about this business was, and this is what I do remember is this business was more lucrative than what they were doing in their real jobs. Or I shouldn't say real jobs, but they had a business running vacuum trucks in the oil and gas industry. And I think they had 5 or 6 trucks. I can't remember what it was, but it was a fair amount. And it kept them very busy. The money was good doing that business, but they said this was better than that because they didn't have to look after trucks. They didn't have to look after employees. They didn't have to fix the trucks. And they said it was very lucrative. They loved it. And so that was when I bought into the business. But because of being in Cuba, I just couldn't get it up and running. And to answer your question, was I skeptical of it? No, I wasn't skeptical because they were already doing it. They told me what they were doing. They showed me what they were doing, and I believed what they told me. So I wasn't skeptical. But I'll tell you what, if I would have saw an ad on social media somewhere about it, honestly, I'm such a big skeptic that I don't know that I would have ever looked at it twice or even started this business from some ad on Facebook, to be honest.
Yeah, I
So
understand that.
that's the answer.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that, because I mean, it's like you trusted these people because you see them already, you're following them, and they have a big business, and and to do this another business on top of their big business and telling you how lucrative is this business is like you put that trust in them. So being skeptical, yeah, I mean that is I understand about being skeptical when it's online because actually there's so many scams online. That's why it's hard to really believe what you're saying sometimes, unless you know that
Right,
person. Because unless you know it's your
right,
friend that you're following and doing it, but like if it's from a totally different world, and then you see that there's even my ad. Sometimes I get some message from where I market, and it's like I don't know what is this business. Why is this showing to my page? What is all kinds of stuff? And I just message them and
right.
I said, if you want to talk about that, I'm here to talk to you about the business. And I know that our business is legal, so you can check my page, and I will, you can see how legit is our business. So because if not, I will be showing my face in the in the social media. And of course, like where I work as an OFW, a lot of my inquiries is an OFW, and I do understand where they're coming from, and I do relate to their situation. So, and sometimes I have some business potential business partner that come to me and still like ask some advice because the online world, they need to it's like they need to trust this, and I always tell them, I mean, search it, look for it, see what's all about. Just jump into it. And I always have in my business, I don't really ask them to like, okay, I'm not pushing of doing join me. You can actually search it. I am not here to push you to join my business, but I'm here to offer you the opportunity. But you can check it out. I mean, because if I am like a kind of person that wants just, hey, come on, join me, come on, register I could probably do that, but I know where they're coming from because I was in their shoes one time. So that's why I'm not being pushy about somebody's doing, and I'm there to help them, to give them advice if they need, and to offer the opportunity. So being skeptical is okay, right? You Kit. So Kit, now in your belief, what is the most important quality of an entrepreneur needs to stay motivated in this business? What is the most important quality?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking about what a good answer is for this. I think that the biggest thing that needs to happen here is you have to, we've got all these different groups, okay? And so when you come on, you end up with somebody that's supposed to be your mentor and somebody that's supposed to be your coach. And you don't know how you're going to actually interact with those people until you start spending some time with them. And so outside of that, there's also other groups that you can get into. And I highly suggest that you try and get into these other groups and spend some time there, because when you do that, it's networking. It's exactly what this business is about. You're networking, you're getting to know other people, and you get into these other groups that are very small, and you're able to have these conversations like you and I are having, but specifically about what is your problem of the day. So your problem of the day might be, well, how do you do this live interview, for an example? How do you do this? And so you can ask the question and you can go over and you can get your questions answered very fast. So my suggestion is to get part of these live groups and spend time interacting with other people that are within this business. And we had a long conversation. We had a half an hour conversation before we started even talking today, and we shouldn't have probably have done that because we were supposed to be doing this at noon, but our conversation was about this business. And I'll tell you what, doing this, talking to another business owner and getting part of these groups, that's what I highly suggest that a person does. If you think that you're going to come on board and do this business by yourself without interaction, without networking, can it be done? Yeah, I'm sure it can be done. But in my opinion, that is going to be so hard for you to do by yourself. You gotta take advantage of all the time that's being offered to you. And then, like I said, this is just one of them. Really, at the end of the day, what we're talking about here today, does it really make that big of a difference? Maybe, maybe not, but we're both learning something about each other. We're putting ourselves out there. And this is one of the things that you just got to do. You just have to do it. And I'll tell you what, I said this before we started. This is one of the things that I enjoy doing, is talking to people and listening to them. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's my answer.
I agree with you. It's really great to get out of your, sometimes not to get out totally of your group, like to get out there and meet other people and talk to them and learn from them, because there's so
Yeah.
much stuff, there's so much things that you need to learn in this business as well. But you can actually learn from different people just for talking to them, ask, having, develop friendship, all that things. And like me, I always go out. I am kind of person, I always go out, ask somebody, approach somebody, even approach the leader. This me. I never thought I can do that, but I did. I did. So, but there's nothing wrong with that. I just like, the only thing you can say, they can always say no to you, but it's just like getting out of that comfort zone and go out there and find your own resources. If you can't find resources somewhere,
Yes.
find it. There's always some resources out there. Like, find your own accountability partner. Like, I have what, 4 or 5 accountability partner that we started too, and then it's getting bigger and bigger. but we enjoy it because we're also not talking about only business. Sometimes we had a hard day and we just want to put it in there and feel better.
Right.
And that's one thing that's great about it too. It's not just only
Right.
business, because sometimes you need that person that just for them to listen to you, to vent your frustration once in a while, just
Yes.
to be there. So it's really great to go out there and find resources, just don't stay in one of your team, because you learn a lot from your team also, but it's a collaboration of everybody's talent, everybody's insight, and you just have
Yeah.
to put it together and see what works for you. So that's one thing
Yeah.
about this
And
business.
everybody's at different stages of their business as well, and everybody has different priorities throughout the day.
Mhm.
Like you and I are both doing this business, but we're in different spots in our lives. So
Yes.
I'm at a spot where I'm semi-retired and I can afford to spend all day every day doing this, but you're still working as a nurse, so your time is limited to whatever time you have off, plus you've got your family. So you're in a totally different position than I am. And then there's other people that um there's so many people that are doing this as a sideline. They're not spending all day every day doing this. So
Mhm.
it again, you get to learn where I'm maybe advancing at a little bit faster pace than somebody else, and I've learned something new. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say, I've been watching our live here, watching what you've got going on, and your page here is very well done. I'm watching it. You've got a nice background. Your questions are coming up. Your introduction to our live was very good. And I know I need to do this as well. I just haven't taken the time. But I gotta commend you on this, Annie. You've done something. You've got something here, and it looks very good, very professional, very nice.
Thank you. Actually, that this is fun because I am an introvert person, and to be able to come out here online and doing interview with different people, it's just like that's a totally different side of me. I never thought because when I was
Well,
in
we're,
school, huh?
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was in school, I don't even want to stand up in front of everybody because even though I know what I'm talking, it's just like go away because I don't know. I get started to get so clammy and sweaty and everything is like, and then totally
Yeah.
disaster. But now I can just like, but it takes me a while though, and I didn't just go over and go live just like this. I started I started doing go live from my phone, inviting. Actually, I started doing it from just inviting to watch webinar. those those
Yeah,
two to three
but you're doing it. But you're doing it. Look at you're hosting this. You're doing it. And I'll tell you what, if you would have told me this outside of this today, you're very well spoken. Where are you from originally? Are you a Filipino?
Yes, I am Filipino.
Yes. So
Yes.
it surprises me that you're not very outgoing because all the Filipinos that I know, they like to talk.
I don't know. I like to talk. I mean, I like to talk, but I'm a kind of person that I have to observe first. I just don't jump into them and talk because I don't know how to expect what the expectation of other people. So I just want to make sure I don't embarrass myself in front of them. So when I get to know them, I know my friend will always tell me like, Annie, the first time I met you, you're too quiet, and now you're just like bubbly. It's like, well, because I know you already, you already know me. But at first time, like if I meet the person, I always like make sure I don't do anything that offended the other side because you don't know what kind of personality they have. So you gotta really watch out what you're doing. But then you get to know them and you already know how to approach them, you know what kind of their personality. So it kind of like you get comfortable talking to them and you started this yourself going out there. And it's
Right.
just me. That is me. But anyway, I like it. What's your advice to our anybody's watching that wants to start but they are is hesitate? What can you give a wisdom for them?
Well, the only advice I can give is, take a look at the business. And they've got, and I know everybody hates hearing this, but you've got to have an open mind. And a lot of people are really scared when they see pay $149 for this. People have to be realistic to understand that. You get some people, and I'm sure you've come across this before, but people ask, and I've had it happen to me, well, what does $149 get you? Well, it gets you into this business a little bit so that you can have an understanding of what it is that we do. And it's not giving you the business, it's just showing you the potential of what this is and what we do. And is it going to be a fit for you? And so, right now, and they've had it for forever, that you can pay the $149 And if you don't like it, you have a 30-day money back guarantee, and they give you your money back. There's no questions asked. You don't want to do it, get your money back, walk away, be happy. Um, but it is a legitimate business, and take an honest look at it, because who knows, it may just end up changing your lives. It's a real business opportunity, but you also have to understand, and I never say anything different about this. It is a business. So wherever you live, whether you're in Canada, the United States, or the Philippines, anywhere in the world, people start up businesses every day. But businesses also fail every day as well. Why do businesses fail? I don't know. Maybe they don't have enough money. Maybe they don't have the right personnel. Maybe they didn't work at it. Maybe they had a bad location. You pick it. There, restaurants. The restaurant industry is the worst industry out there, and those businesses. I forget what the percentage is. It's about. I think it's well over 50% in the first year. Restaurants fail. The good part about this is you come on board, you pay your money, you can get your business started. Like myself, I came on board in 2020. I didn't start doing this again until 2024. So my business sat there. I didn't do nothing. I had to get back into it, but you can literally do that with this. So, again, I'm not saying that you're going to have a booming business if you can only afford to put 1 or 2 hours a day into it. You're going to get 1 or 2 hours a day worth of business. That's what you're going to get. I mean, the more time, and it's like anything, the more time you invest with it, that's what you'll probably get out of it. And again, I'm not saying that it's a guaranteed that if you work 12 hours a day, you're going to be successful. That highly depends on many factors. How do you present yourself? How is your story? What do you do? Are you willing to help other people? Are you willing to network? I mean, I don't know. You just gotta. I know I've really digressed here, Annie, but I mean it is a legitimate business, and you can really. It is a business, and I'm loving this. Like, I'll tell you, I mean, I'm loving this. This is great. I wished I was 30 years old and starting this. I'm trying to get my sons into this. They don't right now. They don't want any part of it. But I'll tell you what, as a young person, if a person can start in their 20s and 30s doing this, oh my God! By the time you're my age in the 50s,
You're
no,
set
you
now.
set for life. Set for life.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Kit. Yeah, I mean, I understand about the success of this business because I mean, in every other business, you usually it depends how much effort you put in. You can't just put 1 hour and you think you're gonna be a successful. You have to put a lot of hours in this business as well,
Yes.
and
Yes.
especially when you're starting, because you have to
Yes.
learn how this business works. I mean, but if you're starting and you just put 1 hour and not even doing anything, don't expect any success into it, though. I mean, like
Correct. I
us,
agree.
we put a lot of hours in here, even though we have different job, because we want this business to work. And it's kind of like this is our business, so we're treating this is our business like we're treating our job like our job that we go to our job and we work but it's for other people's business that we're working hard, but this is our business. Why don't you work hard for your business? Because whatever
Right.
outcome here is all yours. It's not nobody's
Right.
gonna share it except your family, of course, however you want to share it. But I mean, if you can work 16 hours from other people to make them rich, why don't you put that in your business? That's just for me.
Right.
I mean, but it depends how much time but you have to try to do whatever you can for your business to work it out. But that's one
Absolutely.
thing. I understand that you're trying to say about, I mean, it's different factor if you're going to be successful in this business. There's so many factors that you have to consider. Also, it's about your mindset also. If you always think about, a negative about the business, you gotta know why did you start it anyway? That's the question always. That when you started this, what is your main why you started this? Because I always go back to my why. That's why I started. That's why I need to pursue this because that is why I want to make this work because of my reason why, my pain and my struggle. That is why I want to make this work. And every day when I look at it, I was like, I really need one to make this work, because every day when I see my struggle and my my pain, I was like, you just have to like uh, make it work. I mean, you have to work hard in this business for a few years, or whatever, how many times, how many years you want to work hard to make it bloom. You can't just plant your trees and tomorrow plant and tomorrow is gonna be tree. It takes about what 20 years to become tree, or 5 years to become tree.
Yeah,
So
unless you're bamboo.
yeah, unless you plant a big tree already, right? You plant a big tree, that's already
Yeah,
tree. But if you plant from the seed, you gotta water, you gotta do anything to make it a very bloom tree.
yeah.
But this is really a great conversation. I'm loving this conversation, and this is not like an interview; it's like a conversation, learning something from different people, everyday people. But thank you, Kate, for your guidance and for your insight. And I appreciate everybody that is watching. Thank you, whoever's watching live and whoever watching replay later on. Thank you, and have a great day, everybody. Until next time. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Ann. Bye bye.
Bye bye.